Yep. So I finally got to check out the Super Mario Bros. 2 World Galaxy Odyssey All-Star Star Fox movie. Sorry, I mean the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I would have liked to have seen it on day one, but I was working at my cinema 5 days on the trot from that point. So I ended up seeing the post-credit scene about 30 times before I saw the actual film. Don't worry, I'll let you know when I get into spoiler territory. Galaxy launched on the 1st of April, the same day that the Artemis 2 rocket launched on its journey around the moon. That's a nice little coinky-dink. With Project Hail Mary still in cinemas too, it feels like we're really living in a bit of a space craze boom right now, which I'm well into. Because you know, I'm from space, innit? For the record, I adored the first Mario Galaxy game, but for some reason the sequel never really clicked for me. I'll try it out again someday, promise. So yeah, what can I really say about this movie that hasn't already been said? Everyone's talking about this movie right now, so lobbing my hat into the ring is going to be a mere drop in the ocean. But I talked about the first movie on this channel, so why not? I guess the first thing I could say about this movie is that it flies by at rocket speed. It's 95 minutes long, but honestly it felt like about 30. You know those 4D motion chair short films that they have at theme parks, like that Minions ride that was previously a Nicktoons ride that was previously a Hanna-Barbera ride? This movie felt like a feature-length one of those. It's a roller coaster, a spectacle, an explosion of action scenes strung together. And yeah, it ain't that deep really. I think Mario Galaxy's biggest issue is it feels like they're speedrunning through way too much Mario game material in a single movie. It's absolutely stuffed to the gills with new characters and locations. It's actually kind of exhausting. Also, can these movie studios give us at least one big surprise without spoiling it in promotional posters and trailers? Like, wow, yeah, cool, they put Birdo, Mouser and even Wart in it. Would have been nice to have kept that as a surprise, especially since one of the trailers showed a majority of their total screen time. Woof. As if that wasn't bad enough, a mere week away from launch day, the marketing team dropped a poster they really probably shouldn't have. Yes, that's right, we need to talk about Fox McCloud. I would have absolutely leaped out of my seat if they kept that secret. Like, are you kidding me? What? Why did they not keep that secret? So like, how many extra seats do you reckon releasing those Fox posters generated? I absolutely doubt that made much difference at all. It probably sold like 6 extra tickets by spoiling it for everyone. I work with a lot of younger guys and gals at the cinema, and I kid you not one of them knew who Fox was. I can't imagine much of any kids know of the Star Fox series, which isn't really a surprise when it's one of Nintendo's most underutilized series. I mean, the last one was on the Wii U and it bombed. Oh yeah, and there was that Starlink by Ubisoft for the Switch that even came with a Fox figure in Starship, but that also bombed. Fox McCloud was purely put there for us oldies, something for the adults that grew up on the SNES and the N64, and for that I am grateful, as McCloud is not just a cameo, he plays a pretty big role in this film actually. He's kind of a highlight. So yeah, Nintendo, can we have a new Star Fox game now?
Please?
While Mr. No Item's Final Destination gets quite a juicy amount of screen time, sadly the same can't be said for Rosalina. Much like Luigi in the first movie, she spends a majority of this feature kidnapped. Lame. There is one plot development regarding her that we will discuss later, however, which is also kind of a highlight. Who else was in this? Who wasn't in this? I mean, like, who oh yeah, Yoshi. Yoshi was in this, voiced by Donald Glover for reasons. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that internal conversation. Who's gonna voice a dinosaur that just says Yoshi all the time? We could just save a couple $1 billion of the budget and use the game voice. So Yoshi just kinda shows up. We get a little bit of backstory, but it ain't much. He's just kind of there, which, you know, it's Yoshi, it's fine. He does just kind of appear in the games as well, but yeah, I'll get into it a bit later. At least Bowser and his son get some pretty good backstory and like some actual character growth here. To be honest, I've always found Bowser Jr. to be a bit lame. I never really cared for him as a character. I'm more of a Koopalins guy, to be honest. But this movie did a pretty good job at making him not only a legitimate threat with some great fight scenes, but also had a nice little arc with his father. No, I don't like how they rendered his eyes. It creeped me out. One area I think they really did learn a lesson from the first film and course corrected was in the soundtrack, and in particular the use of needle drop licensed pop songs. A notorious B.I.G. song shows up for a moment, and as far as I know, that's it. The rest of the soundtrack was, like the first movie, crammed with nods to music throughout the entire Mario game history, and yeah, even some Star Fox tunes. In my video about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I described it as being like a pair of jingling keys. But by comparison, Galaxy is a room full of jingling keys, and that room is a keychain on another pair of jingling keys. I've since rewatched the first movie to jog my memory, and yeah, while that first movie is also rather simplistic and has some issues, overall I think it was more enjoyable than Galaxy, which, again, just feels like it shoots through its script way too quickly. Some scenes come and go so suddenly it's a wonder why they're even there. There are a few things on these posters that literally appear in the film for like a couple of seconds. Yeesh. Both of these movies have been absolutely panned by critics for being nothing more than an overstimulating commercial for the brand, much like the My Little Pony and Care Bear movies, or like, I don't know, Space Jam or something. One critic went so far as to call it the end of cinema, and another claimed AI could write a better script. Oh come on, what a load of bollocks. Sometimes all you want is a big screen equivalent of toys you like being smashed together. See what I did there? And for Mario fans, this delivers that in spades. If you go into this as a 40th anniversary celebration of the Super Mario Bros. Series rather than a straight adaptation of the Galaxy games, then it serves its purpose pretty well. If you're not a fan of the series, however, you're not really going to get much out of this. I will say that. I gotta say, as a childhood Sonic fanboy, I find it pretty hilarious and also a little bit surprising that the Sonic movies have all garnered such higher critical praise than any of the Mario movies. As much as I enjoyed Sonic 3, I'm still quite baffled how it managed to gain a certified fresh 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. How? Honestly, comparing the Sonic and Mario movies is a bit apples and oranges, but if you had to make me choose, I think so far the Sonics have just barely turned out better than the Marios, as they're at least somewhat pacing themselves when it comes to introducing characters with each installment. Imagine if the second Sonic movie introduced Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Metal Sonic, Amy, Rouge, Cream and Big all in the space of less than 2 hours. It'd be overwhelming, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's leap into the pipe that will send us to the Super Spoiler Land.
Warning, incoming spoilers. Warning, incoming spoilers. Warning.
Welcome to the Super Spoiler Land. Woohoo! Let's go and all that shite. Where to start? Mate, we knew Fox McCloud was in this, but holy shit biscuits, that 2D animated Star Fox sequence. Mate, can we have that as a show? Ah! We also knew about that Pikmin appearance, or the fact that the Pikmin were going to show up in this at some point. As soon as the spaceship showed up, landed, I was like, that's the friggin' Pikmin ship, and sure enough, the Pikmin came out of the ship. Ah! It was cute. It was very cute. I liked it. I liked when the Pikmin showed up. Oh, and how could I forget me boy Rob? He showed up. That was really cute. He was mostly just doing the Zootropolis sloth thing for the one scene he was in, but I'm just happy to see me boy Rob. Also, I went into this hearing rumbling about another Nintendo character showing up in the final battle of the movie. Of all characters, of all frigging characters, I was not expecting Mr. Game & Watch to show up. Like, Luigi uses Bowser Jr.'s like brush that he uses to create creatures, and somehow comes out with Mr. Game & Watch, and Luigi's like, oh, sorry, I'm not very good at drawing. Mr. Game & Watch is actually kind of badass for a second, but then it gets like his head cut off. His head gets chopped off. It's like, no, Mr. Game & Watch, no. So yeah, there was a couple of scenes in this film where they got me like that. They got me good. Bits of fan service that don't really serve any purpose to the plot, but just maybe point at screen. Also, post-credit scene. As I said earlier, I saw that scene about 30 to 40 times before I actually saw the film, so I already knew what I was getting into. But like, yay! They're putting my wife, my favourite Mario princess in the next one, I guess. Calm down, F. Speaking of princesses, yeah, who expected that major lore bombshell of Peach and Rosalina being sisters? Because I sure didn't. I saw the credit sequence loads of times because I was cleaning screens at my cinema, and I was like, oh, what's this all about? What's going on here then? What's going on the grapevine? So that's a bit of a surprise. Apparently they're both made of Stardust, not just Rosalina. Peach is from the same place, and then something happened, I can't really remember. But some danger arose, and Rosalina sent Peach down a pipe as a little babby, and that's how she ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom in the first movie. So that kind of ties things up in a nice little bow there. I think that was probably one of the story highlights. But now I'm starting to wonder, is this canon? Is this going to be in the games? Is this going to be a thing going forward? Or is this just a movie thing? Oh, and yeah, what does this mean for Daisy?
Does this mean she's also related to the other two? Probably not. My bet, if I had to put money down, I'd say she probably isn't related to the other two. She's from a different kingdom, isn't she? She's from Sahara Land, or whatever it's called, you know, the Maryland. I'm curious to see what happens with a third movie, because as I say, they just crammed in so much stuff from so many games in this one movie that it almost feels like they haven't got much left. The only thing they've got left, right, is Wario and Waluigi. I think they might be holding that one in their pocket for later, but I think I said this in the video about the first film, but I want them to be like DNA cloned mutants of Mario and Luigi. You know what? Maybe two of the bros' relatives from the first movie somehow get transformed into them? It'd be a good excuse to return to Brooklyn and see the family again. They were honestly one of my favourite elements of the first film, and I want to see more of them. They weren't even in this one, like, at all. The only time we went to Brooklyn in this film was when Yoshi had a little flashback. He was like, haha, this is where I come from. I hatched, and then I went in a pipe, and then I hung around in Brooklyn for a bit, and Donkey Kong was on some girders for a split second, and then I broke a dinosaur museum thing, and I got chased back into the pipe, and now I'm over here, and now we're mates. It's like, is that it? Is that all you got? Like, seriously, that's Yoshi's origin story in this? Like, wow. There's a bit in one of the trailers where Yoshi is holding like a super scope and baby Luigi and baby Mario are hanging out. And I thought, is this a flashback? But no, it's not. It's not a flashback. In fact, it was probably one of the worst scenes in the film. Like, this scene was just stupid. Like, it was really dumb. So Bowser Jr. uses like a super scope that saps people into babies. One thing I did like about that, though, was the fact that Fox McCloud's ship crash landed on a dinosaur planet. See what they did there? That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute of you guys. What I can say is I'm glad little Triceratops didn't show up. But yeah, that whole baby segment was kind of pointless and rubbish. You could have, like, chopped that entire scene out, just not had that at all, and then fleshed out some of the other scenes in its place without even changing the length of the film. You could have done that. I was really hoping that they were going to have some way of tying Yoshi to Mario and Luigi's past or something, especially when he went to Brooklyn. I was like, oh, does that mean he knew him when they were younger or something? But no, he just hatched, and that's it. That's it. Oh yeah, speaking of which, like, Mario rid on Yoshi's back like once for like 2 seconds, and that's it. Like, I think really that was just kind of like my biggest issue with the film, is there were so many scenes that were just like very quickly rushed ahead. Like, so it looked like something big was going to happen, or like there was a big significant scene, and then they just brush it off, and it just gets resolved almost immediately. Like when Bowser was giving himself up to that Queen Bee, ended up like being enslaved by her, working on her like bee mines or whatever, and he just gets immediately rescued by Bowser Jr. like 2 seconds later. It's like, what was the point in that whole build up to nothing? It just happened. And then this was an issue I had with the first film as well. They kept doing this thing where it's like, oh, Mario fancies Peach, but Peach would never like him because he's a plumber. She wouldn't kiss you. And it just sounds like it was written by a 5-year-old. It's just so immature and just naff. It makes me hit the desk. I also liked the Bowser Jr. stuff. When they had that little flashback of Bowser doing a little puppet show for Bowser Jr., I thought that was absolutely adorable. In fact, it kind of reminded me of the Finger Puppets storybook scene from the first Despicable Me. That's my thoughts on the Mario Galaxy movie. Definitely preferred the first one, especially on a rewatch. I think I enjoyed that first one considerably more. It's nice to be back on YouTube. It's been a while. Quite a few months. I'll see you again in another video sometime soon, hopefully. Bye.